The new property disclosure statements for residential and condominium properties that comes into effect on November 1, 2025, includes a statement that the property has not been used to illegally grow cannabis. While growing any amount of cannabis at home used to be illegal, changes to both federal and provincial legislation now allow individuals to grow cannabis at home within certain parameters. In Manitoba, the Liquor, Gaming and Cannabis Control Act governs the cultivation of cannabis by individuals at home for their personal use. Section 101.26.1 Sub 1 allows a person who is 19 years of age or older to grow a maximum of 4 cannabis plants in their residence. However, anyone choosing to grow cannabis at home must do so in compliance with the amended cannabis regulation. Section 49 of the regulation states that a person must not cultivate cannabis plants at different residences at the same time, and that if 2 or more people over the age of 19 live together, they cannot have more than 4 cannabis plants in total. Additionally, Section 50 of the regulation requires that the cannabis plants must not be cultivated from illicit cannabis seeds or plant material. All cannabis plants must be grown indoors in a room or container that is securely locked or somewhere that is not accessible to anyone under the age of 19. Links to the Liquor, Gaming and Cannabis Control Act and the amended cannabis regulation are provided in the description below. Individuals may also be permitted to grow cannabis at home for medical purposes if they have a license to do so from the federal government. Growing medical cannabis at home is regulated by the Federal Cannabis Act and regulations. The number of cannabis plants that an individual is permitted to cultivate with a medical license varies based on the daily dosage of dried cannabis in grams as prescribed by the individual's doctor and can range significantly. An online calculator is provided by Health Canada to convert the dried amount to total plants. It is linked in the description below. Note that an individual with a cannabis prescription may also designate someone to produce the cannabis plants for them. A designated producer may grow cannabis plants for a total of 2 registered people. A maximum of 4 registrations can be authorized at any one site. Anyone licensed to grow cannabis for medical purposes must take reasonable precautions to ensure the security of the cannabis in their possession, including keeping it in a secure location where children cannot gain access, an alarm system, an air filtration system, etc. Further guidance issued by Health Canada regarding the growing of cannabis for medical purposes is linked in the description below. While you are not expected to be an expert in cannabis regulation, you should be knowledgeable enough to advise your client about what the statement on the property disclosure statement form means. You should also take reasonable steps to verify what your seller client has told you about any cannabis cultivation on the property. As with any other property concern, you must not be willfully ignorant about the legality of your client's cannabis cultivation. If there are concerns about the condition of the property related to the production of cannabis, even if it is being done legally, such as mold or changes made to electrical systems without proper permits, they would also need to be disclosed by the seller in the relevant sections of the property disclosure statement. Any material latent defects affecting the property must be disclosed to the buyer, even if a property disclosure statement is not completed by the seller. It is important to note that the restrictions described for individuals growing cannabis at home for recreational or medical use do not apply to commercial cannabis production or cultivation for educational and research purposes. These types of production should not be occurring in residential properties and have their own set of licensing and compliance requirements. If you or your clients have questions about commercial cannabis operations, an appropriate legal expert should be consulted. For more information about your property disclosure statements, review the training material and resources available on MREA online education. Formatted fillable versions of the forms will be available on web forms following the November 1st implementation date.